To the casual observer, this looks like the finish line for wildlife rescue. We assume that to save an animal, humans simply need to provide 50 acres of open space and step away. But that assumption collapses when you look at the history of this male hippo. Before Ventara, he spent his life as a circus prop, moved between a small metal box and a stage for the entertainment of a crowd. A hippo's biology is built for submersion in deep water. Yet, for decades, the only moisture this animal ever felt was a brief spray from a garden hose on a concrete floor after a performance. If you take a creature with this level of ecological deprivation and drop it directly into a wild lake, the result is often fatal. They lack the physical conditioning to swim and the psychological tools to navigate a world that isn't made of metal and cement. This creates a strange necessity for modern sanctuaries. To restore an animal's ability to live freely, caretakers have to use highly artificial, human-engineered interventions. It's a process of closing the instinct gap. When an animal is removed from its natural habitat during its critical developmental years, it creates a void where survival skills should be. For these rescues, wild isn't a default setting they can return to. It's a behavior that humans must reconstruct, piece by piece, before the animals can safely utilize the open savanna. You can see this reconstruction in the daily care of the giraffes. Maintaining these massive animals in a semi-wild state requires constant hands-on maintenance. This diagram shows the primary threat to a giraffe in a sanctuary: hoof decay. Without the constant, varied wear of a natural trek, the hoof tissue breaks down and becomes prone to infection. Because a giraffe must maintain massive blood pressure to pump oxygen up its long neck, any pain in the hoof is catastrophic. The animal shifts its weight to compensate, causing joint inflammation that restricts circulation and eventually forces the heart to overwork until it fails. To prevent this, the staff uses a specialized spiked oven mitt to provide daily hoof massages. They have to train the giraffes to voluntarily step up and accept this scrubbing as part of their routine. This highly artificial interaction is the invisible prerequisite for freedom. Without a human with a spiked mitt, the giraffe's body would eventually fail it, long before it could enjoy its 50 wild acres. The challenge is even steeper when the missing piece is psychological. In the wild, giant South American river otters are apex predators that can hold their own against jaguars. But these specific otters arrived from a zoo where they never learned to hunt. They didn't know how to navigate deep water, and they didn't recognize live catfish as something they were supposed to eat. The caretakers had to bridge this gap by introducing live fish as enrichment toys rather than food, encouraging the otters to chase and bat at them for entertainment. Eventually, the play turns into an investigation as they engage with the movement and the scent of the prey. The first bite triggers a realization of their own predatory identity. This shows that instincts aren't a permanent guarantee. Without a wild environment to trigger them, humans have to step in and simulate the scenarios that allow the animal's natural drives to surface. For land predators like the cheetah, health is tied directly to high-speed cardiovascular output. Their bodies are built for the extreme stress of a hunt. A cheetah's physiology is that of a sprint athlete, capable of hitting 70 kilometers per hour in mere seconds. At Ventara, staff use motorized track lures to simulate the chase. By racing the cats against a mechanical target, they keep the cheetah's specialized heart and lungs from atrophying. Even the tiny black-footed cat, a cryptic desert hunter, requires this same level of stimulation to prevent lethargy and mental decline. Staff use mechanical hunting decoys from the US, spinning robotic birds, to provide the behavioral enrichment needed to trigger a full stalking and pouncing sequence. For an obligate predator, the act of hunting is what keeps their internal organs and brain active. To keep them healthy, human caretakers have to take on the role of the prey. This process of rebuilding ecology takes many forms. It's seen in the assist feeding of baby spider-tail vipers, ensuring these rare reptiles survive a fragile infancy they weren't prepared for. It's seen in Malayan tapirs using their prehensile noses to play with plastic toys in a pool, learning to interact with a water-based environment for the first time. And it's seen in that circus hippo. After a lifetime on dry concrete, he is now fully submerged in a massive lake, living in a social bond with a female companion. We often think of a sanctuary as a place where humans simply get out of the way. But for a rescued animal, that's rarely enough. Wildness is an active science. It requires humans to decode an animal's biology and meticulously reconstruct the missing pieces of its environment. To give traumatized animals their nature back, humans must take on the responsibility of rebuilding the very world these animals lost.